What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to Late Tubes. Today's video is going to be part 2 of grading every trade at the 2023 NBA trade deadline. If you guys haven't seen part 1, it's in the description below. I appreciate the support you guys have shown on that video and on my channel recently. We have so many new subs coming in every day, and we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're new here and want to support the channel and the cause, please be sure to subscribe down below. I'm going to be dropping NBA content almost daily, especially if it's going to be news like this with the deadline, through All-Star break, after All-Star break, during the playoffs, during the finals. You know I will be here posting for you guys. Again, I really do appreciate the support you guys have been showing. Today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than the first trade deadline video. Those were much more big splashes, so we actually took the time to analyze those specific trades and talk about the winners and the losers. We're still going to be grading the trades, or I guess the teams, though, in this video. We're going to just be looking at what teams acquired and what teams lost. We're not going to be pinpointing every single trade. I just feel like it's going to be easier to talk about the trades this way and the teams this way, because a lot of this back half of free agency, or not free agency, sorry, the back half of this trade deadline was contenders kind of retuning and tweaking their team and just trying to get better overall. So without further ado, let's get started talking about that Los Angeles Clippers. So if you're new around here, I'm pretty big on the Clippers. I was big on the Clippers going into the season. You know, even with Kawhi and Paul George, you know, being banged up or missing games with load management, Tyronn Lue and the Clippers have done a wonderful job of staying competitive. And right now, they just added to their depth. They had a 3-team trade involved with Memphis and the Rockets, where they got rid of John Wall, they got rid of Luke Kennard, but they brought in amazing shooter Eric Gordon and another great spark plug off the bench in Bones Highland. This is definitely going to help with the depth of this team. I'm really excited to see how Bones looks in the LA Clippers uniform. I really know that he enjoyed his time in Denver. I know the city of Denver absolutely loved Busy Bones Highland, but now he's going to be appreciated by this Clippers culture. And same with Eric Gordon. He's actually coming back after a long time. It's crazy to think that back in 2008 he was on this team, back when that team had like Eric Bledsoe and crazy other names like that. But now he's back and he's ready to just make an effort as a shooting wing. And that's what this Clippers team is needed. They had that kind of in Luke Kennard, but he's kind of, you know, missed a lot of games with injury this year. And he's been pretty, you know, spotty. You know, some games he plays, especially the games where Paul George and Kawhi has been hurt, it seems like he comes in and he's just not taking advantage of the opportunity that's in front of him. So I really hope Eric Gordon and Bones Highland come in and do some great work. I think getting Bones Highland for 2 second-round picks was absolutely fleecing the Nuggets. It seems like a lot of talents are getting thrown around the league for second-round picks. And the funny thing is that in this trade from the Rockets, the Clippers got 3 second-round picks. So it's almost like you got Bones for free. But that's besides the point. The Clippers, I'm going to give you guys a B+. I think these were amazing moves. And other than John Wall, I don't think he really lost out on that much. I might be a little biased, but I feel like John Wall was a good spark plug to have off the bench. You know, he's a playmaker. He plays pretty good defense. He's fast. And he just takes care of the ball all in all. Now moving on to the Portland Trailblazers, I kind of gave them a little bit of flack at the end of my last video, saying I didn't really know the direction they were going in, bringing in Cam Reddish and getting rid of a guy like Josh Hart who does all the little things, but they seemingly replaced that guy Josh Hart with Matisse Thybulle, who's much bigger and fits the structure of this roster a lot better. Kind of was weird seeing Josh Hart and Anthony and Damian Lillard share the court a lot of the time, because then, you know, you have these guys that are all under 6'4" or just right at 6'4", and obviously Josh rebounds a lot bigger than his size. But that's besides the point. Matisse Thybulle is a great rim runner. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. Honestly, his rookie year, he almost made, actually he might have made, I'll have to fact check it, a defensive team. Okay, I was correct. Last year, Matisse Thybulle was named as a second-team all-defensive player. And guys, I feel like his minutes in Philadelphia have just been dwindling away every single moment. You know, as the rotation in Philly gets deeper and Embiid's playing more minutes, I feel like come playoff time, we probably wouldn't have even seen him play that much. This was a great pickup for the Blazers. The Blazers also just acquired Kevin Knox, who, if you guys are unfamiliar with, I'm pretty sure he went 8th or 9th in the 2018 draft to the New York Knicks. When the Knicks drafted him, I thought that he would be a lot better just because he possesses all the skills to be a good NBA player, and he looked really good at Kentucky. He's 6'7". He's got almost a 7-foot wingspan. He can shoot the ball in the corner really well. He can put the ball on the ground. But when he, his game, it just didn't really transition to the league, and he's been on it what seems like a couple different teams now in his short NBA career. But hopefully he finds a home in Portland. Hopefully he can just play his role and keep his head down and focus on the work. For the Blazers, I'm going to give them a B. I really do feel like losing Josh Hart is a big deal, but hopefully Matisse fills those shoes very well. As for the Pistons, you guys pick up James Wiseman. Very, very interesting move. Very, very interesting. And I say this mostly because I don't like that you guys got rid of Saddiq Bey. In my opinion, Saddiq Bey is a very, very underrated talent in this league. He shows all the offensive skill sets and defensive skill sets to kind of be a Detroit Piston, if that makes sense. Just a guy who's gritty and physical and able to score the ball at all three levels. Another thing I really like about him is that he's stayed very healthy throughout his short NBA career. I know it's only a small sample size of 2 years, but I digress. Atlanta, they kind of got really lucky getting a player like this. It kind of reminds me of a DeAndre Hunter, who's obviously still in Atlanta, but this is about the Pistons right now. James Wiseman, I was just watching the Draymond Green show. If you guys don't watch Draymond, I'm sure most of you guys don't really like him on the court, but off the court, he's a great analyst, and he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to hoops. I would definitely check out his show. It's on the Volumes YouTube channel. He said it best, saying, James, you did not have a great start to your NBA career, and Golden State might have not been the spot for you, but in Detroit, this is your chance to just restart and, get a fresh reset button. Honestly, I think this is good for him. I think him and Cade Cunningham and Marvin Bagley, Killian Hayes, there's a lot of young talent out there in Detroit. They're going to be an exciting team for years to come. Honestly, I really hope they pair Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman together. I'm still not ready to quit on Marvin Bagley. He's been battling injury most of this year, but his first year in Detroit, he was pretty good. In 27 minutes, he averaged 15 points and 7 rebounds and a block a game. But only the future will tell what holds for this duo. For the Pistons, I'm going to give you guys a B-, maybe even a C+, just because, again, I would love it if you guys kept Saddiq Bey, but, James Wiseman was a top 3 pick less than 4 years ago, so salute. I mean, it was a good pickup. So keeping on the topic of big men, let's go to the LA Lakers. You guys pick up Mo Bamba for just Pat Bev. I think this is a phenomenal trade for the Lakers. If you guys watched the video I made on the Orlando Magic a couple weeks ago, I said I hope Mo Bamba finds a new home, and I actually said I hope he goes to the Lakers or the Clippers, because both of these teams need a big man who can run the rim, rebound, and play defense. Mo Bamba's capable of doing all those things. Once you guys acquired D'Angelo Russell, you had one too many guards. Now you got rid of Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook, so it just opens up that backcourt a lot. Honestly, I think this was a great trade. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but what I will say is if we can see at least 20 minutes a night of Mo Bamba and Anthony Davis together, it's going to be really hard to score down low, and I'm really hoping that Mo Bamba gets a lot of minutes, especially because the Lakers sent Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. For the Lakers, I would give this a B+, almost an A- even. I feel like Pat Bev necessarily does not belong on a championship team, and if that's what you're trying to do, it's best that you guys got rid of him. I didn't like that you got rid of Thomas Bryant, but Mo Bamba will fill his shoes well. As for the Atlanta Hawks, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I was just talking about Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey, I think he's going to fit very well on this roster. I would give this move a B+. I don't think you got rid of too much necessarily. 5 first-round picks for a talent like this, or sorry, 5 second-round picks for a talent like this. It's not really the end of the world in my opinion. I wouldn't worry too much if you're the Hawks. Again, I kind of am contradicting myself because I was upset with the Bucks for giving up 5 second-rounders for Jay Crowder, but just personally at their points in their career, I think Saddiq Bey is going to be a much better player than Jay Crowder, but that's just me. And the last 2 moves we're going to be talking about is Toronto. They kept everyone on their roster and added Jakob Poeltl from the San Antonio Spurs. I like this move a lot. They needed a center. They're kind of stretching out what the limits of what a center actually is in Toronto, and they've done that for a long time. I think this is a great move. Jakob Poeltl is pretty much a guaranteed 10 and 10 a night. Will fit very well. I'm sure Nick Nurse is looking forward to learning how to coach him and, get him into the system. I do want to say I think it's interesting that the Grizzlies and the Pacers offered 3 first-round picks in a package for OG Anunoby, and they said no. That just means Masai is very, very confident in this starting 5, and, the rest of what they have in Toronto, he said, I'm pretty sure the quote was that sometimes these things take time and they didn't want to rush anything. I would give this move a B-. I don't know if it necessarily raises your ceiling that much, but Jakob Poeltl is a great talent. And lastly, the Warriors bring back Gary Payton II. Great move. He was on that championship roster last year, and I think him and Dante DiVincenzo sharing the floor together will create a lot more possessions for the Warriors just with the defensive pressure that the two of them provide. I think this was a great trade. I would give this an A-. Also, I forgot to say in the beginning of this video, I'm just looking over my notes right now, that the Clippers got Mason Plumlee. I think that was an absolute fleece. Mason Plumlee is a very underrated talent in this league. Just goes to show the Clippers are just making their depth even better. I think this is gonna, leave a lot of pressure on Ivica Zubac because, I feel like he was really the only true center on that roster. So another great move by the Clippers front office. Steve Clifford's probably ecstatic right now. But what do you guys think? Who came out the biggest winner from this trade deadline? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate your support as always. I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.